Guys, thanks for being here. We are excited to talk to our friend and our fellow startup here, Above Board. Brent, give us a quick overview of Above Board, elevator pitch, and directly to the investors that you're trying to reach, because you want to get that $1 million like every other startup out there. So let
That's
us
right.
know. Yeah, got to get that money. So how are we going to do it?
Yeah. So first of all, thank you guys for having me on. I really do appreciate it. And so Above Board is America's first sugar-free liqueur line. We launched last year in Southern California. That's been our test market. And we launched with our three core products, an Irish cream. So think Bailey's, a coffee like Kahlua, and then an orange like Cointreau. We initially started the brand out of frustration. My wife and I have lived low carb, keto most of our lives, and we'd get frustrated going out to restaurants and no one having sugar-free options. The closest that you can get is making a vodka soda or tequila soda, and that's the cheapest thing on the menu. And so what we discovered is we tried all different sweeteners, and we landed with allulose and monk fruit, two plant-based sweeteners. And the beauty of that is it doesn't leave a diety aftertaste. So with the push and health and wellness, consumers really want transparent labels. They want clean ingredients, and they want something that tastes good. So we feel like we're hitting the market at the right time, and we're really excited to share it with the country.
Yeah, and I can vouch. You gave us a simple sample of the product. It's great. We drank all the the orange liqueur making margaritas, so it's a great product. So what startups are going to want to know, like you, are okay. I've got a great product. We think that we've zeroed in on the fit. There's a definitely a need and a fit and a desire in the market. So that's what we want to have a conversation about and dissect. Okay, so you're way further than a lot of startups. A lot of startups have a great idea, so they think, but you've executed on the idea for a few years now, or how long has it been since you've from the idea to this phase?
Yeah, so we're almost 2 years in,
Okay.
as far as, and so, it's, I think there was a stat that like 70% of startups would have failed at this point. So
Yeah.
we feel like we're onto something that's positive and is going to be long lasting. So.
Nice. Yeah. And out of that time, I mean, on Instagram itself, you built a healthy following there, which is good. You've got about almost 23,000 followers. And that is nice because there's some social feedback there. Your content's great. So you've got the look, the feel. And Gilbert, where do you want to take it from here? Because I mean, we can talk directly about, because what I'm thinking is, what did investors, when you pitch to them, what is the thing that they ask you? What do they want?
Yeah, to follow up with that question, I would kind of tell the story of your brand itself, because for me, every time that I go out, I try to get something sugar free, but on your category, I haven't been able to really find something like that. Mm-hmm. Like the margarita, and when we do your mix, you always get something like a juice with a lot of sugar, but then you have something that is sugarless on a category that is very sweet. We actually have some B-roll from Total Wine that we took on that session of the store, and there's a lot of competitors. So can you tell us the story behind the brand for any investor out there who just want to jump into this opportunity?
Yeah, so there's a lot of things that I want to unpack there. So I think when you're starting with an idea, it's important to understand what the market is for it, right? So thinking competitors, right? You want to make sure that you have a product that is not flooded with competitors, right? So tequila is on such a boom right now. Trying to start a new brand for a tequila, it's not impossible, but it's really damn hard, right?
So you need a massive budget.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. And you need George Clooney.
Yes. Yeah. Celebrities. I mean, and even the ones that do have celebrities don't make it, right? I mean, so where I feel that we're unique is that we are first to market. Liqueurs are used in 65 to 70% of the cocktails that we drink because they need a way to sweeten cocktails to make them taste good, right? And so what we've done is we've come up with a way to not only sweeten cocktails, but a way to hack your health, right? Our products are gluten-free, they're keto friendly, and they're also diabetic friendly. The beauty of the sweeteners that we use, it doesn't spike your blood sugar. So that's huge, right? And so for us, when we looked at the market, we saw that no one else is doing this, right? So that creates a huge opportunity. And then B, how do you connect with those consumers with a new idea, which is that in itself presents a challenge that maybe we can table for the moment, right? From an investment standpoint, I feel we're a very strong brand to invest in because no one else is doing it and there's a very high demand for it, right? So those two things alone create a unique investment opportunity.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yep. And so, my background was in technology. So my role is really a lot of back end, making sure that we have a corporation that's scalable, right? And we're kind of at that point where we're getting ready to take off. So we need to have all of our systems and everything in place. And part of my background is also data analytics. And so we started this during COVID, and we did probably 20 different expressions of liqueurs and cocktail syrups, and we're really having fun with it. And with the name Above Board, we wanted to put something on the market that was tried and true and reliable and tasted great. And so when I started doing market research around the liqueurs, finding that no one else was doing it was huge. And then B, when we looked at all the different age cohorts, they all responded in the same way, but for different reasons, right? So people are willing to spend more money on premium, healthy cocktail alternatives. And then under those same conditions, they're going to revisit those places where they know they can stay within their health goals, right? So it's creating opportunity for pre-existing, restaurants and bars, hotels, that this offers an untapped revenue stream for them, right? So not only is it just a new product that they can put on their menu, it's a way that they can drive additional revenue and capture a market base that they haven't been capturing before. And a lot of people that, when they go out, they like to drink, but they don't want the sugar. They're ordering vodka sodas and tequila sodas, right? And again, I know I mentioned that those are the cheapest things on the menu, right? So if you can upsell customers for a $2 upcharge to have, a great craft cocktail that is no sugar or even low sugar, with like 1 or 2 grams of sugar, that's a huge win.
That's a good point. So it's a premium option. It's not a cheaper option. And that's, I think sometimes, all right, I gotta drink something that tastes crappy to get my health goal, but this is way different. It's an upcharge for the investor, but they gladly do it because it tastes great. And then it meets the goal of, hey, I'm not getting fat from this as I would a loaded, the traditional liqueurs.
Right. Right.
And what I'm hearing is that we're past the idea, at the conception of the idea, because the product is already there. What states do you have? Where do you have the product?
Yeah, so we're self-distributed throughout California. We are also listed as a specialty spirit in Wyoming. Not a huge volume of sales there. We were just testing the market, large and in part because my wife and I are huge snowboarders, and we're usually in the Tetons every year, and so we just wanted to get our products in there. We just closed with North Carolina State. So starting in January, we'll also be available in North Carolina. And then we also just got into Washington, D.C. We have a big year planned. So kind of circling back to one of your questions, comments was, what do investors look for? So one, they want to see a growth plan with additional products, right? And so I'm going to put a pin in that for a moment. And then they want to see growth for the business. So how are you going to make more money? How are you going to grow your brand? And so we have a 10-state expansion that we're planning on. And so to do that, though, we need that capital to grow. And so, looking at other startups, it's great to find a test market to test viability of your product, right? For us, Southern California made the perfect sense. If we can't make it in California, we're not going to make it anywhere. It is a very health conscious state, right? A lot of diversity there, and we feel it was like the best market for us. Within the first 12 months, we got into over 100 accounts, a good diverse mix of on and off premise. And so on premise would be your bars, restaurants, where consumers are drinking on site. And then off premise are, your grocery stores, your liquor stores. And so, yeah.
So you said something pretty interesting too, because that stood out to me. So they want a plan, a product line. So it's not just, hey, here's our projection, our revenue projections. They want to see, okay, you've got different products and you have a plan to scale the actual product line, not just the revenue. So that's pretty interesting. I've got your products pulled up here. If you could just walk us through, this is your existing product line, but I know that your goal is to take over every nook and cranny of the liqueur market. So if you could just explain the product line and how because there's a lot of, you're investing, you're bootstrapping, you're investing in the product, you're doing the R&D. So that's a lot of risk on your side. So tell me that relationship between building out the product line and then minimizing that risk that you have.
Sure. No, and that's a great question. I do want to point something out first. So although investors do look for, that growth and where you can take your products, it's important to note that they also want to know that you're focused, right? They, like, for example, we have 8 different liqueurs, but we only launched with 3. And so, it's very important to stay focused in your test market first and improve that viability. And then you slowly start to release new products over a period of time. It's not something where we didn't want to go in and release all of our products at once, right? We need to stay laser focused. And so we selected these 3, which are, 3 core liqueurs, right? On what you're seeing on the screen is our cream liqueur. So think of it like a Bailey's. Then in the middle there, we have the orange liqueur. Not like a triple sec. We think of it more premium, like a Cointreau. It's great for making sugar-free margaritas, super low sugar Cosmos, because you are adding cranberry there, although you could use sugar-free cranberry. And then our coffee liqueur is amazing. Espresso martinis. My favorite drink with it is with bourbon as a coffee old fashioned. So bourbon, our coffee, and orange bitters. It's dynamite. And then on the end, we recently launched our sugar-free simple syrup. And so the reason for doing that is, the simple syrup is a great way to make a plethora of sugar-free cocktails. It's also great in coffee, teas. I use it on my overnight oats and yogurt in the morning. It's just an amazing product that gives you that sweetness without the diety aftertaste.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, what I'm getting to is that you have to be careful. That's the fine balance of how you don't want to push all your products at once. You need to get there, but then, so how do you use feedback from the market to help you gauge when and how to release new product lines?
Yeah, that's a great question. So in addition to these products, we have a melon for Midori, a raspberry for Chambord, a hazelnut for Frangelico, and an almond for Amaretto. Beginning of last year, we were projecting that the 4th liqueur that we would launch would be the Amaretto. We thought that would be, something that would be a great seller. Yeah. As we were working through and talking with the different bars and restaurants, someone said, you should really make a sugar-free Aperol, right? And that feedback, like, we kept hearing it everywhere. Like, hey, when you have a sugar-free Aperol, come back and talk to us. So what did we do? We went to R&D with the sugar-free Aperol, and we're actually blending it in mid-December. It's going to be available at the beginning of January. So it's really taking that market feedback, understanding what consumers want, what your customers want. Those are all important factors, and understanding what you launch with next. After the Aperol, we want feedback from our customers. We want to know, what do you guys that have, been with us since day one, what do you guys want to see Above Board do next, right? And I think it creates this atmosphere of, buzz and excitement. They have these products that they've tried, they've loved, they're using them, right? And so getting feedback from your customers and consumers and understanding what people want is really, what allows us to make those informative decisions.
Yeah, that's awesome. Gilbert and I could talk about this too, because what comes to mind is, and this applies to other startups. We worked with a tech startup, and there's a distinction between the positioning of the product and the actual product itself. And we've worked with founders that they get so tied to the product that they want to build, they don't listen to the feedback. And so
Yes.
the investments that they make because they think they're right about it instead of listening to the actual customers. And at times there's a big ego or a lot of emotion surrounding that. And they could easily build something that, hey, your customer's like, hey, I think you have something close, but could you change X, Y, and Z? And so let us know how risky is that to not listen to your customers in that way and just kind of go ahead and do what you think is going to be the right fit and product.
Fatal. It's fatal. So back to my days in tech, I would consult for large global corporations on the digital side. And when we were building out products, I was always pushing that it is of the utmost importance to understand what your customers want. It's not necessarily there is a balance between like what you want to create as a company and what your identity is. But
Right.
if you're not following what your consumers want, you're going to fail. There's just no doubt about it, right? I mean, if you're not giving them what they want and the functions that they need to see, there's a balance there, right? About the cost to be able to create it. What's your cost on return, right? If your customers want an AI tool that's going to cost you $500,000 to build, and you have 200K, maybe it's longer on down the road, but how could you bridge that gap, right? What could you create in the meantime to facilitate what your customers are wanting and build towards that goal? But as far as the alcohol space goes, it's about taste profiles, diversity, and cocktails that we can make. And back to your comment, Jason, like we are going to go after every liqueur and make sugar-free options that's out there.
That's great insight.
It's a huge mission. I mean, it's driven by a bigger mission. It's backed by a healthy lifestyle, but I love the mission. It's not just, hey, we want to make oodles and oodles of money. It's like, hey, this is for people that actually fit in with the brand, fit in with the culture of it. And I think that's an important point too. It's culturally driven, and it's going to attract similar folks as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that point. We work with actually both kind of clients. We work with the Steve Jobs wannabes that they always think you have to give them what they don't know. We work with those people before, and they need to understand that there's, like you said, you mentioned it, you have to have that balance. You have to keep your ear on the ground, listening to what is happening, how people are reacting to your product, so you can make adjustments, fail fast, so you can improve and have success. So far, we see, all right, so we have 2 years in. Can you talk to us? I'm very interested about the branding, because I really like how you came across this design. Branding is a huge step when you're getting started, and you got that nailed down, the different colors. How do you guys get to that style?
Yeah, it's a great question. I want to give a shout out to Upstart Food Brand. They're such a great brand that we started working with early on, and they're great at marketing and branding, and they really listened to us as far as like what our vision for the brand was. As you can tell, we the colors are really earth toned and muted, and that speaks a lot to both Nicole and I's personalities, right? We're outdoorsy people. We wanted the coloring and the branding to be something that is both appealing to men and women, right? When you think about sugar-free, for the longest time, a lot of the marketing and everything was geared towards women. We are targeting both men and women. We want people that have active lifestyles, but still enjoy themselves and want to have a good time. So, it's really important to understand the customers that you're going after. That's a big aspect of it. And we fell in love with the name Above Board, right? Because it means full transparency, right? And so they did an outstanding job. I love the graphics on there. If you look closely when you have a bottle in your hand, each product has flavorings or notes of what that product is. So for example, the Irish cream, there's coffee beans and vanilla beans on there. It's really that French style art. These are all hand drawn. The labels are. The orange, of course, there's big citrus fruit on there, and then the coffee, you have the coffee pods and beans. So yeah, we love the branding, and thank you for your comment there as well. We're certainly very pleased with it.
And it's not too bright, so it goes well with the no sugar.
Yes,
because like in the middle, it's not too bright, it's not too dark. We really love the branding, everything about this. So talking about the investor, and so I'm sorry, Jason, do you have something else about that?
Well, yeah. So I think where we can go next, what I'm interested to, and it's probably related, but your team, right? So it's you and a few others, but you are the engine behind the marketing and sales right now. So if you could talk to us about that, because you are doing the work, right? You're executing on building this beautiful, awesome brand that has the market. So tell us how that works, because I know it's time consuming. Other founders are probably like, how do I do all of this? It's a lot.
Yes. Yeah. My wife and I always say we're working full-time, part-time right now so that we can work part-time, full-time later. Right. As a startup, you have to wear multiple hats. My role right now is the CFO, but I really operate more like a COO. And eventually, as we get funding, I want to transition into that COO role and, have someone helping with the financial aspect of it. So, it's tough. We're constantly in triage mode, right? So a lot of times you have to quickly disseminate what is on fire, what requires my attention right now, and it really becomes a skill, right? You're looking at all the problems you have, and you have to, quickly make decisions on, okay, this is what I really need to focus my time and effort on, and addressing those things that are really important and doing them right away. And I'm a deep thinker. Nicole gets on me a lot because when we get certain emails or we need to respond a certain way, a lot of times I have to digest things. I need to think about it. I need to process it, where she's more of a quick response. And,
That's a good thing.
It's a great thing. It's a good balance for both of us, right? Because, she's highly intelligent. She, can read a room very quickly, and, she does a great job at doing that. So we balance each other from that perspective. So, a note for startups, having team members that have an aligned goal, but that have different skills I think are important, right? It's tough to go into business with someone that you're identical to and you have the same skill set, right? So we have to divide and conquer a lot as far as who approaches what aspect of the business.
And I was thinking about the investor now, talking directly to your ideal investor. Is this like a Shark Tank? Are you looking for several investors, just one that focus on one area or another one, just so our viewers can have an idea, and we can also have an idea when we recommend a couple of things to you?
Yeah, that is a great question, Gilbert. So for us, we would love, in an ideal world, we would love to have a single investor that, is focused on either the alcohol space or CPG, that has a deep network, but that's not always realistic. I mean, it would be great to have private equity come in, give us funding. We know that in 2 years, we're going to have to raise funds again. To be very transparent, our goal is to sell the company. So we want to grow it over the next 5 to 7 years, and we want to exit and then start on the next thing. For us, it's probably going to be multiple investors. We are launching a crowd fund tomorrow on WeFunder. Yeah, so if you search on WeFunder, you can just search for Above Board, and I think it's wefunder.com/aboveboard is the URL. But happy to share it with you guys, and we can recycle it as we're putting things out. It's not. It's not public right now, but it will be as of tomorrow. And so the idea there is we want our consumers, our customers, to have the ability to invest in it as well. And so crowdfunding has come a long way just in the last 2 years. And the great thing about using crowdfunding, it's a single line item on your cap table, right? So we could have 2,000 people investing. It's a single line item on the cap table. And then you can still have, your venture capitalist, your angel investors to come in and invest into the brand. But
great. Your own customers can invest in this drink, in this product.
Right. And it's brilliant. I mean, if you think about it, like if you invest in it, right, you're going to have interest in it, right? You're going to tell your friends about it, right? They're going to get interested. They potentially invest. They tell their friends about it, right? So the idea is like trying to take it viral. And if you look at companies that have had successful crowd funds, if it goes viral, then that's amazing because they're going to buy the product. They're going to talk about the product, right? They're going to tell their friends and family about it. So we're hoping that, a portion of the 1.4 million we're trying to raise will come from, friends, family, and customers.
That's amazing. That's a great idea. That can take us to influencers and now recommendations.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's an awesome thing because they're invested, like you said, and then you get that feedback loop, good feedback. Hey, what we love about the product, how we want to change things. So it definitely reinforces what you guys are doing. But yeah, so we wanted to talk to and brainstorm with you some things that we know your budget is bootstrapped right now. Your time and energy right now is bootstrapped. So what are things that you guys can do? I want to show everyone your Instagram page. Let's see, how long did it take to build this? Because it looks nice, right? You got some great stuff going on, about 23,000 followers. And again, social media is a lot of people, it's a huge beast of a thing, right? So we want to just unpack it a little bit and give you but just talk us through how you went from 0 to 30,000. What was that experience process like?
Yeah, very, very time consuming, right? So we started we knew that Instagram was going to be our main point of focus. If you look at, we just started on TikTok. We barely have done anything on YouTube with shorts. We do have LinkedIn, but we haven't been super active there, although we're trying to build up our LinkedIn presence. But the thing we love about Instagram is that you're able to capture all the events that you're doing, right? It's an easy way to showcase like not only your products, not only your team, but you can showcase people's feedbacks, right? It's just these super quick videos. So many people are on social media these days. So it takes a while. We've had several different social media teams that we've worked with. Nicole and I tried to handle it by ourselves at first, and that's just not our strength. Our strength is not taking pictures and videos and making them look aesthetically pleasing and posting them on Instagram. We're not good at that. So we knew early on that we needed to hire someone to help us with that. We've used a mixture of photographers, influencers to kind of help drive some of these contents. A lot of times when we're doing bigger events, we may hire someone just for that event to come in, capture imagery, and potentially some videos and post it on there. And so, it's been a long road. We actually, launched I believe we launched our Instagram site 3 years ago, before we were coming out. So we started doing, like coming soon and yeah, it's been great. The growth that we've had. Every time we're at events, we have QR codes for folks to sign up right away. That's really helped drive things. A majority of our team are just demo people, right? We pay them hourly to go out and do these events for us. October was a banner month. I think on average every week we had 15 to 16 different events going on between tastings and then, like larger weekend events. So a lot of exposure that way though, right? It's a great way to get the brand out at a low cost, right? So paying younger kids that see the vision, that, are able to communicate efficiently, they understand the brand, and they're out there selling it for us, and it's been amazing. We have such a strong team from that perspective.
Nice. So certain things here, that's great that you're using that, because I was thinking, okay, is it just you two going out and doing events? Because it's a lot of events and you can only do so many. So so you've created a team that they can also help you scale on these events, correct?
That's right. Yeah. And so what we've built is when we enter in a new market, like say North Carolina next year, we're going to have that same approach, right? So we'll have a couple of key employees that are local here, and then as we start to sign up for all these events and demos, we'll hire people to go in. Of course, we'll train them. We'll talk them up on how to do these things. A lot of times they'll come with one of us, and so they'll hear us talking through the brand for a couple of hours, and then it gets on repeat, right? They understand what to say to customers. They understand the talking notes of each of it. And so there's a lot of college kids that are interested in alcohol, right? So it's not hard to find great people that, you can pay hourly. It gives them a little money in their pocket. They're doing something fun. They get to communicate with people. So it's a great way to keep costs down, but really to help drive the brand.
Yeah, and I see that, and there's one thing that we can add here as well, because that's boots in the ground. In the, physical locations is great, but the question is, how can you maximize that digitally? And one thing that we like to do with influencer marketing specifically is you're paying folks, like people, you have to train them and you send them products already. So you could do that online and do it on a consistent basis. Credible people that love your product, that they can act this in the same function, but creating content for you, because you said it's not your strength, it's not where you want to focus your energy, but there's a lot of great creators that you can leverage their audience, and that's what we like to do with influencer marketing. And so that's kind of what is available here on Instagram, because as you probably know, you can do collaborations, and then it can go on your page as well if you'd like to do. So it's a way that you get the content to your audience and then their audience as well.
Yeah, and that's a great point. I do want to add, we took our hand at it early on. I don't know that we approached it the best way. We didn't have the best example with it because we didn't have a lot of money. We weren't going to pay someone $2,000. It's like we did get some outrageous bids for, I'll do a cocktail, for $750 for a, and I'm like, no, okay, that's a hard no, right? And then
you have to pitch them. You have to pitch them too. That's the thing. It's a sales process. It's a negotiation, because we've worked with them. There are some influencers that have a decent following, like millions of followers, and they love the product, and they will do content for free. So again, it takes time though to negotiate those deals. Some are crazy that have a small following, and they're like, yeah, I'll do something for $5,000 a reel, and it's like, no,
no. Not yet.
Yeah, and there's a lot of great tools out there. I don't think it's past social. I think there's a couple of websites that you can actually check engagement for the influencers, understand, what sort of reach they have when they post something, what's the exposure.
That's if you want to spend money.
Yeah, that's if you want to spend money on it. Yeah, absolutely. And then we did some where we just donated bottles, right? We donated product, like, hey, we'll send you some free product if you post for us. Sometimes people would take the product and not post, but those things happen. But
it happens. It happens.
Yeah.
That's kind of those are loss leaders. We've done it. We've sent out other brands, like clothing companies, sent out products, and you don't always get the same. But the power in it is that it is scalable that way too. I mean, it's less time for you and going out at physical events. The other thing too is looking at your page. What we always like there are so many marketing metrics out there. The question is, well, what metrics matter? Because it's not always what you think it's going to be. Just because you have a good following, but what does that help you? You need to get the $1 million sales. So you need more eyeballs on your content.
Yes.
So what we like to look at is what are some content outliers? So when we're looking at and we looked at some of your videos, and I love that you're doing a lot of the lifestyle of the brand, but sometimes it's not always clear on what the video is about. And people are not going to come to this page. They are scrolling. Usually
Right.
they're scrolling and they see something. And if we see an event where it's a clothing event and then we don't see above board in there, they might like the video just because it's a woman. They like the clothes, but it's not really related. What we did like this video here, this was interesting because it was one of those outliers because
Right.
it was, so this has about 5,000. It's probably one of your best videos on this page.
Agreed.
The question is, why is that? And so Gilbert, you can weigh in on this too.
To go back to listening to the audience, that's translating to marketing too. So that's why organic content is free. So we need to take advantage of this. That's why all of this content is great. So the audience is already speaking to us. We can see that the one on top, it has 170 views, while this one that Jason just opened up has almost 5,000. That's not even a 100% increase. It's even way more.
Absolutely.
So what we suggest is that for you to start including this kind of content, not only creating this content, but if you can put some money towards these best performing pieces, then we can reach that audience that might go to the investor page, and they can actually be part of that group now that we know that we're looking for more investors. So that's how you work on social. We post organic videos, we test the market organically, it's free, and then we see, all right, so the audience is responding to this. Let's put some money towards this, and let's keep creating part of this. And then as part of this audit, this is an alcoholic beverage. People already are showing signs of, hey, we like to see what the cocktail is all about, what the product is all about, on that one post that you have for 4,000. We also saw a couple of other influencers with posts that can give you an idea of another round of content. Not only the another round of content, but you can hire or collaborate with these influencers and create kind of this lookalike content, which is extremely easy. I can do that in a Friday night here or at home. I don't know if you can share the other, the influencer page that we have available. So
what's the link? I'll pull it up. What's the handle of it?
Oh yeah, I got it. So
you got it? Okay. Here,
if you see your page, the best performing post has almost 5,000. Let me share mine.
And what we're saying here, Brent, is that we have a winner in the format right here with this format, with showing the product, showing the recipe. Now we just want to rinse and repeat that. We want to do that over and over again because we want to get 5,000 views on every video.
Can you see this?
Not 200.
Yeah.
Can you see?
Yeah.
So this one on your page, and I encourage everyone just to look at the organic content and then look at the reviews. So if we're posting this kind of a post, we get 1,000, and then you get a 4,000. That means something. But if we go back to someone else, we found this dude that is shout outs to James Whitty. He's a mixologist, it looks like, and look at this, 74,000 views.
It's amazing. People like their after all.
Yeah, so
but it's interesting. But you see that it's the format too that's important. Like they like to see the close. The drink is close up. It's there, and we saw some other ones too. But the drink is the star.
Yes. Yeah. And it's a great point, and I'm glad you guys realized that and pointed it out. It was something that Nicole and I were like, oh my gosh, like look at the response just from seeing, these older dudes in a coffee shop, right? Trying our product out, and it's
authentic. It's authentic,
right?
But it's visceral too. And some of the other stuff, I will say, the other marketing stuff is beautiful, but it's perfect, right?
Yeah.
But some of these other stuff, it's raw. It's like, oh, I see the product in the wild with real people.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. It's out there.
Right.
So we wanted to give you that feedback, and now, okay, this is a content model that works. So let's rinse and repeat. Nicole could do these videos in the kitchen. You could have your team do this, but like strive. Yeah, these are beautiful. Strive for this style because we know it's an outlier.
Yeah. No, I love that. I think it's a great point. Would certainly love to dig in further with you guys about how we would go about doing that. I think the problem is Nicole and I won't do it. It's not that we don't want to. And I think that's why we've always had someone working on the social media for us. Just
yeah, we can give you something. So far we did this audit as an umbrella audit, let's call it that way. First of all, we started talking about influencers, since we know that we're looking for angel investors or a group of investors. Influencer marketing is going to spread the word out there, and it's going to just grow the brand. So number two, just mimicking this best performing post. If your team can do it in a night out or a happy hour and just record several. We did it on the past for a restaurant. We recorded. It was a nice photo shoot because we needed to taste the examples. So you can just run out and you can have it done in 2 hours. Have several cocktails, and then you can use those because we already know those are best performings. And keep on doing what you're doing, of course, but adding this kind of views, so it will increase your views on Instagram, and then adding some sort of budget. And we can also help you. There are some tools out there. You can even ask ChatGPT what's the keyword cost or the 1,000 impression cost, so you understand. All right, so I'm going to put 2,000 per month and see what happens. If I can get a couple of investors. Now that you're going to have that page, I think that's extremely valuable. So we call this organic to paid. That's how you test not only whatever you put out there. If you have a team, that's how you test your team. You let them be creative, put videos, different formats, and then you just go to your page. Hey, this one got great views. Let's put some money to it. And then you keep growing and you keep playing with your pieces. That's another part. The other one is social proof. That's something that we always need. I don't know if you want to touch that point, but Jason.
It's related. And so that's kind of for founders that are like, hey, how do I maximize my budget? Because that's also, there's two goals here, right? It's like, I want to get this $1 million funding, but it's like, what can I do to maximize my budget? So say you only have $1,000 to spend on marketing a month. Okay, well, social proof is important. From this example, we saw your product is in the wild with real people. So you could take some of that budget and work with influencers that are doing this exact same thing. So it's allocating it for that, strategic purpose. We need we don't want to do the content, right? You can't spend your time doing the content. So you need others that are great at doing that, and you can find them. So that would be the strategy. Partner with creators, the right people that love what you're doing, and you will find the right people to work with, and you can use tools like you mentioned. But that would be the strategy. Let their content fill your IG platform for social proof.
Love it.
And again, we'll have the link is on the description or on the screen. So anyone interested in investing in this great product, they can just go there and you don't need a corporation or anything just to invest.
Nope.
That's great.
Yeah. Any individual. It doesn't have to be an accredited financial institution. It just creates a great way that if anyone wants to invest, they can invest.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And then we're also, I should probably add, we're redoing our website. And so I think by the middle of December, we'll also have we'll have a investment tab on our website, which is drinkaboveboard.com. And so by the middle of December, it will be on there as well. And that it will link to our crowdfund page also.
One more question. I didn't ask you this about e-commerce. Are you looking for investors to distribute your product in stores, retailers, or are you also looking to increase the e-commerce side?
Yeah, direct to consumer has always been a goal for us, right? And so we did receive a small investment from Level Up Ventures, and part of that investment was to leverage Shopline, which is another version of Shopify, right? It's e-commerce platform. And so a lot of that is really driven at growing our direct to consumer. One of the challenges is shipping alcohol, right? You can't ship to every single state. We can currently ship to 46 states across the country. But shipping is expensive, right? So single bottle, a lot of times, places are charging $20 to ship a bottle, right? And it's the same with our website. So if you add 2 or 3 products, the shipping stays the same. So, it's like, how do you drive those customers for more e-commerce sales?
The shipping stays the same. So you can create packages for.
Yes. Yeah, and we try and tell folks that, a lot of folks are travel to California and, they're like, hey, can you ship this to Arizona or Iowa or wherever, right? And I always tell them, like, yes, but know that shipping is expensive, but if you buy multiple products, it stays the same. And so,
Okay.
yeah, and a lot of times with Shopline, we're going to have dynamic pricing as well. So it will give, like, sometimes it will give 20% off if you buy 3 products, right? So the idea is based on where it's going, what the shipping cost is. And so that's a way that we can hope to drive, more e-commerce sales and minimize those abandoned checkouts.
Yeah, so it seems like you need to create a couple of bundles to
Yep.
sell those bundles with 3 or 4 bottles, maybe a mixer or something, and then call it
Yeah.
bundle A, B, and C.
Yes, that's a great point. And so I do want to point out that, first of all, we are not in any competition with any base spirits. We partner a lot with tequila brands, bourbon brands, vodka brands. And when we do events, we use their base spirits with our products to create these sugar-free cocktails, right? So, it's something that is a really important distinction with us because we're not in competition with them. We do have the ability to partner with other base spirits.
Nice.
That being said, at places like Total Wine, other liquor stores that have e-commerce sales, we try and do bundles with them. So, let's say that we partner with Lalo Tequila, and then we can do a margarita package, right? So it would be their tequila, our orange, and then maybe the simple syrup is free, right? So that's something that we really want to grow on, especially as we start getting into multiple states. We are looking for partners that are base spirits, that we can really grow with nationally. Does take time, but that's really something that is a great thing to point out, right?
Yeah, for e-commerce, let us give you a recipe or a prescription for this. Number one, yes, now that we know the shipping is that's huge. So we need different bundles. That's number one. Number two, once you have those bundles ready, you need to create a Google Merchant account and make them available for purchase on Instagram natively. So I don't have to go out of Instagram. So what's going to happen if you have that set up? Once we start putting money towards the best performing post, like the ones that we just saw, or the best, the rest, the cocktail recipes, then the product is going to be available on that one post. So because you already tried the organic content, it's proven that people are asking for that kind of content. Put some money on it, get a lot of eyes on it, and make the product bundles available on Instagram shop store. So people can purchase it right there. The shipping will be $20, but if you get 4 packages or a margarita package, that will be ideal. Martini package. These are different bundles. I think you can make it available online, and it will be faster. Social media shopping is great, is growing. So that will be a good prescription or strategy for online shopping right now with this product.
Agreed. Yeah, we could love some guidance there on how to best do that. Currently it just says, go, follow, look at our profile and go to the website to purchase your products now, right? And it leads to the product page, but it needs to be easier, Well, look, we're all guilty of purchasing things on the fly and TikTok and Insta, right? I mean, it's so easy, right? And so you want to make it easy for your customers to be able to just click the button and buy,
Exactly. Look at those cocktail recipes that we saw. Imagine you get the margarita or whatever recipe you have, and then you have the bundle right there. You can buy it from Instagram or TikTok right there. You don't have to go into your website or anywhere else. So that's part of the user experience. Try to make it available to your ideal client, and I think that will be a huge success for you, especially since we're trying to penetrate. Correct me if I'm wrong. New York, Florida, Colorado, Nevada, Texas, and Arizona. So we can also do those kind of campaigns. You can also concentrate on those states and add those links. Right now, you do have the investor link that you can replace instead of learn more. with your content on Instagram, you can just replace it, put that link in there, and then that's the effort, investors. But then if you want to switch then to e-commerce, we need those products in the natively on that platform so people can just get them. That's amazing. I'm so happy. Hopefully we can see this product on these states next year. Really
That's
fast.
the goal. That's the goal.
Yeah, I know we're going along here. There's so much to talk about. There's one other element too that I would like to hear. Email marketing. How are you guys doing there? Because right now I see this is kind of your only opt-in. Is this your only landing or your only opt-in?
Yeah, there's also one of the things that we're fixing on the website where on the right-hand side where the cart is, it's over top of the contact us. So there's also a button there too. But this is all driven within our CRM. So when we do events, we have QR codes that are basically this landing page, right? You just put your first name and email in. And then when you first sign up, it puts them through an email campaign. First email they get is a welcome. It says, you get $10 off your first order. So that's important to help drive e-commerce sales. And then it also sends our cocktail recipe book, which has almost 40 different cocktails for no and low sugar cocktails using our products. And then, of course, you're getting that customer's content and then, driving those email campaigns, right? And so driving, hey, Thanksgiving is coming up, order your bottles by this date. Same with Christmas, right? Or, hey, try a pumpkin spice martini, right? Using above board cream. And so that's something we really want to grow into next year as well. It's an important aspect that has been a work in progress. Right?
Yeah. The direct to consumer, what I'll say here and what works for us too is that this is fine, but there's no real incentive that's clear here to sign up, and it should be the same as you do in events. It's like, okay, they're getting money off or they're getting this offer. So what we do is clean up. What I would recommend is cleaning up this offer for the email opt-in, make it very clear, make it valuable, make them want it, and have it on social, right? Have a place exactly like you're doing directing a QR code, instead of directing to the full website on certain places or posts, you can direct them just to that one landing page to claim email so they can get that value-based offer. And when you clean up those things and make it valuable, again, it can be 50% off of the bundles that we're talking about with, get or free shipping, get a bundle and get free shipping, something like that, but make the offer attractive. Then you're going to get more emails on that list. And it's a huge part of, we see a lot of companies we work with, we drive in our process, we know how to drive revenue consistent. And that's what a lot of startups, they need. They want to know, not only they have a great product that it's selling, but what's the predictable path of those sales, and email is a great way to do that. So cleaning up some things there, that would be an area that I would focus on the site. That's
great advice. Thanks, Jason.
Sure. All righty. Well, this is so much fun. We love talking about startups. I love startups because they're hard. They're so hard to, it's like when you're working with established companies, they got customers, like, okay, cool. It's almost like easy. You just optimize and improve, but building things from scratch. Wow. I mean, that's amazing. It takes a lot of passion.
Well, thank you. And the link is on the script on the screen for anyone interested.
Great. Well, I really appreciate it, gentlemen. This has been great conversation. Always fun talking about the brand. Certainly. And thanks for the feedback too. It's, all valuable things. We're always open ears. We know that, my mom taught me as a young boy, listen to every single person you talk to. You can learn something from everyone. So I think that's an important trait to have. And so we're on our way. Somebody's going to invest in us. I think we have amazing products. We have a great path forward. I think we have a long-term vision of what this company can be, and we're excited to get our name out there. And